Welcome. Okay. All right. Welcome. As everyone trickles in. Hello, hello. Okay, this is great. All right.
Hello. Can you hear me
Hey,
okay?
what's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good, good,
Audio,
good.
is everything's sounding okay for you?
Yep, audio is good. Got people trickling in. We got people from New York City. Carrie's saying that the audio sounds great. This is excellent. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Want to give a huge shout out to Eric here for joining us. Welcome to the Coinbase Developer Platform Spotlight event. It's actually the first of its kind, so we're super excited for that. I'm your host, Kanan Severin, Engagement Manager here at Coinbase. Thanks everyone for joining. I know that people all over the world, I've already seen people share that they're coming from New York. Drop in the chat where you're from. We want to know where our developers are at, where our builders are at, just to get a geographical sense of where everyone's located. Atlanta, I like it, Atlanta. Let's go. So I've been super excited for this opportunity just to chat with builders, give them the spotlight, give them visibility, also give you guys visibility about what we're building and just who's using our product. So as I mentioned before, this is the first time that we're doing something like this. It's a pretty cool milestone for us here at CDP. Okay, coming live from Seattle, the Caribbean. I like it. My family's from St. Lucia. Nice and warm over there. India, that's amazing. We have a lot of people over there in India, so that's great. But with that being
Yeah, I'm
said,
curious if that Caribbean is that a vacation or is that a permanent thing? Because that
yeah,
sounds
right,
awesome.
right,
Well,
exactly.
you're not extremely far away, right? You're over there in Miami.
Yeah, I'm not far away at all. I'm not far away at all. I mean, I can get to Puerto Rico in an hour, get Jamaica in an hour
Yeah,
and a half. So that's not a bad deal at all. My family's from
yeah.
St. Lucia, so we go there. We go there often. I know you're out west. I don't know if you kind of migrate more towards the Hawaii, coastal side, or have you ever come over to the Caribbean side?
I've actually never been to Hawaii,
Oh,
and this might sound kind of crazy,
mm,
but I would legitimately rather go to the Florida coast. I would rather go to
mm.
Florida than travel all the way. I guess maybe I shouldn't knock it. I've never been, but the Florida beaches are phenomenal, man.
Yeah,
I'm plenty happy with what I got, but also, uh, you know, I just don't need the plane ride. I don't know, man.
yeah, no.
I haven't made it happen yet.
No, for sure. It's a hike, especially on the Florida side. If you get to Destin, Pensacola, that white sand over there, it's nice too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Gulf side, that water is just
yeah,
beautiful.
super nice, super nice. But okay, now that we got your Caribbean coastal sand interest over there. I'll give the mic to you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little about who you are and let you take it away from here.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. My name's Eric Parker. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Giddy. And if you're not super familiar, our mission since the beginning has been making blockchain, specifically DeFi, just easy, accessible, safe for everybody. So we started in 2021, raised some VC money back then to kind of build out this idea, and here we are today. So we've been engaged with Coinbase on the developer side of things since was it last year? Could have been 2022. It feels like it's been a long time, but nothing but good times, nothing but positive things to say. Working with the Coinbase crew, it's hard to find people that are more engaged and dedicated to the space. So it's always fun to meet other crypto natives, and Coinbase for me is just it's a pillar of the entire industry. So we've been excited. We've been really happy with our relationship with Coinbase so far. So um, yeah, we've been doing this for about 3 years, just building away, adding more networks and features and stuff as we go. And so yeah, happy to be here.
Nice, nice. Happy to have you. Yeah, I know you've been a managed customer of ours for a little while, and we'll get into kind of what products you've used, what products that you're using to help power Giddy, to help get more users there. And I think it'd be very good just to hear just your insights, whether it's on DeFi, whether it's on smart wallets, on blockchain, what you think on the about the crypto space, how you got into the crypto space. So we're just gonna have fun just diving into some questions. Also, I'll give, as Eric answers questions, we'll also be tracking questions that come up in the chat. We just ask that you please keep the questions relevant to the topic, be respectful to everybody. But yeah, I want this to be super informative for you guys. Someone that has been building on the CDP products and really driving their own ecosystem. And we wanted to give you guys the opportunity just to hear what that's like, experiences, and go from there. This session is also going to be recorded, so that's going to be available for you guys later on the Coinbase YouTube channel, and then also we're going to post in the Discord as well, so you guys can refer back to that. And if this is something that we want to keep, this is something that we want to keep on doing moving forward, just to give more visibility on what folks are building in the community. So this is something that we want to do regularly. Carrie's going to drop a Google form in the chat. So if you're interested in the developer spotlight, fill the sheet out. We'll take a look, and we want to see how much interest we can get, just to have people, kind of really show and tell and to show what they're building. So with that being said, let's dive into some. Well, before we dive into some questions, actually, there's actually about a minute and a half spot I want you guys to check out that Giddy did. They put together. It'll give you kind of a high overview of what they are building. So let me actually pull that up right now. Here we go.
You ever wonder what banks do with your money?
Not really.
You give a banker your hard-earned cash, he lends it out, makes a huge profit, and then gives you interest for the use of your cash.
Gee, thanks.
Oops, almost forgot about your fee.
Everyone wants to make money like the banks, but there are billion-dollar barriers in the way.
Sorry, no trespassing.
Until now. Giddy. Using blockchain technologies, Giddy connects you with earning opportunities through the power of decentralized finance. And now you can stake your own claim in the crypto world. Because Giddy is a self-custody crypto wallet, you call the shots, and you reap the benefits.
Good luck. You won't survive investing out here.
There are a lot of risks in crypto, and in investing in general. But the rest is up to you.
Is my money at risk?
Absolutely.
Is it insured by the federal government?
Not at all. Just like stocks in the stock market.
Do I get to decide which risk to take?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Giddy isn't a bank. You're the one holding the reins, cowboy. Go on, kid. You ain't even a real snake. How often do you show your earnings?
12 times.
A day?
A year?
Giddy shows your earnings as fast as every 10 seconds. Faster than I can hitch an Appaloosa. Giddy doesn't lock up your money in a custodial account. You own your keys, you own your crypto, and you can take it out anytime you want. Giddy makes it easy for you to put your money into your actual pocket. It's so easy, Billy the literal kid could use it. With Giddy, you can buy a coin, you can hold a coin, you can send a coin, and even stake a coin and earn returns all from your phone. With Giddy, you can have your stake and eat it too.
Gee, thanks. That was easy.
So if you're interested in earning returns on your crypto, download the Giddy app today and giddy up, partner.
I completely forgot about the goat scream.
That's incredible. I love that. From the marketing side, from putting it together. I need to hear, were you a part of the writers team, the directors team? Were you on the set? What was that like? Because that was pretty great.
So there's a lot that went into that spot. We're super proud of it. We've shared it for a long time. I think we finished that in 2022, so it's been around for a minute. So yeah, I was part of the original crew that was trying to think up these scripts. We were working with an agency here in Utah who's done videos and ad campaigns for a bunch of other startups here. I don't know if you remember the Purple Mattress campaigns. They did like the Goldilocks ad series. A couple of other ones I'm not remembering, but the process was pretty intense. We had 5 or 6 different writers that were pitching ideas. We had a lot of different focal points and characters and people to think about, like what the audience would potentially be. looking at it now, it feels totally natural, really obvious that we would go with that theme and speak to that audience. But it took a minute to get there. It was quite the process. But the goat thing specifically, like there's a lot that happened, a lot of ways we got lucky. But we were looking for a director, and this company creatively, they've got connections with a bunch of different people in the creative kind of filmmaking space, and we decided on the kind of the Western theme, cowboy stuff. We were thinking about how to make it authentic and everything, and this director in his earlier career had been given a job to do like a Western kind of commercial. Mm-hmm. And he was super early on. They didn't have a huge budget. Like he had all these things he really wanted to do, and it just didn't come together. And it had been bothering him for years. And so by the time we rolled around, he had a lot of experience, a lot of like really good projects under his belt. But he heard about this cowboy Western thing, and he was like, "I have to do this. Like I'm going to pull out all the stops. I'm going to make it happen." And the set, the costumes, the drones, like there's a bunch of footage that didn't end up making it in there, but this guy went all out to make sure that we had everything we needed to have just a totally awesome production. Like half of the stuff that you see in there was just him calling in personal favors because he was just so dead set on making a good Western cowboy kind of like ad spot. So he and the reason that Go is so funny, we weren't going to bring in animals. It's so expensive to do it. There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, insurance is a big part of it. Like there's usually union stuff that you have to think about. There's a ton that goes into it. But this guy called in some favors, and one of his friends brought over a couple of horses. Those goats weren't supposed to be there, but they ended up making it. What's actually hilarious about that? My own cameo, where I was going to be in the commercial for half a second, didn't make it, but the screaming goat did. So anyway, lots of memories. Like we shot in one single day. We went out to this spot that was by Park City, got it all done, in the daylight. The actors that we got were awesome. They had experience. They just nailed it. So anyway, a lot of fun memories there. We're pretty happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, it turned out well. I do wish you made the cut to be in it, but maybe on the next commercial, the next spot. But it sounds like this director, he was on a mission to make this happen.
And the goat had experience. He delivered those lines, man. It was it's hard to compete.
Well, hey, it's hard to compete with a goat. Okay, I like that. Great marketing. I'm curious. Now I wanted just to dive into just the origin story of Giddy. What inspired you and the co-founders to start Giddy? I know it's been around, like you said, about 3 years now. And is there any correlation with horses with the company Giddy Up or anything? We saw kind of an old Western. I'm curious of that.
Yeah, I can kind of speak to that first. The name of the company, it's really fitting. Looking back now, it's just an obvious match. It was a process getting there, though. At the time we were starting, there was just like thousands of new projects being posted every day on Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, Polygon, and trying to pick something that wasn't already done. I mean, it's almost impossible. Almost every food, fruit, animal, job, almost everything you heard of was some new decks being thrown up in 2021. So we had a hard time just carving out space at all. And one of our earliest investors and advisors, he's a brand guru, lives in LA. He's done a lot of pretty high tier stuff. So he was kind of helping us navigate those waters a little bit. And so I grew up in Arizona and Utah in the desert. The DeFi at the time, we referred to it as the Wild West. Crypto was definitely felt like that. So the name Giddy, originally we were just thinking it would be like a smiley face, kind of like on Amazon's boxes. Yeah. But it kind of evolved eventually into more of a Wild West kind of cowboy sort of thing. So again, it's a process. We had I don't know, man, a couple hundred names that we whittled down to like a dozen. And we did, the legal IP research on those, and then we had to pick something from there. So,
Right.
yeah, like I said, looking back, it feels really natural, but it's
Mhm.
always a process coming up with, how you're going to brand it. And I will say it's been worth every minute, every penny that we spent developing the brand, because the hat, the colors, the Western kind of motif, it's really made us stand out in the industry when we go to trade shows and when we do advertising and stuff. That's one of the first things that I'll hear is, I love the brand, I love the logo, love the commercial, love the whole vibe. So for anyone thinking about their next thing or working on their current project or whatever, I would highly recommend do some research on and what makes a good one, because it does so much lifting for you, just having a visually appealing kind of like trust building idea behind what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that, obviously, the brand and stuff, that came way after the original problem that we were solving. So if you know Giddy, if you followed us, you've heard this story before. But so there's a guy in Utah. He's actually our first angel investor, and he got into crypto back in like 2015. A friend kind of introduced him to Ethereum, so he got pretty lucky. He made some early bets and didn't sell, and so kudos to him. So around 2020, 2021, when DeFi is going crazy, he was kind of experimenting with some DeFi stuff. I was showing him around a little bit. We got onto this messaging platform. It was another Utah startup called Volley. It was like video messaging for different groups of people, different interests and stuff. Okay. I just got on there and started nerding out about crypto. And he sent me a message, like a private message, and was like, kind of seems like you might know what you're talking about. I need help with something, if you can take a look. Turns out he'd had significant amounts of cash stuck in a protocol. Just some brand new thing that came out. It was one of at the time, it was like this 10,000% interest rate if you stake into their LP. Yeah, right. The crazy early DeFi stuff, right? Yeah. So they changed up some things on him. He had this money stuck. So anyway, I eventually helped him get this money out, and we got to talking about that problem. Just how insanely difficult it is to do this right. Not only is the tool set difficult, but finding the right opportunity is hard. Doing it in a way that's like fast, cost efficient, understandable it's wildly difficult. So we just got to talking about the opportunity. What would it look like if we had a platform or an app that made it as easy as anything else? Kind of like what Robinhood did for stock trading. Could we do that for DeFi? Right. And that was kind of the original idea. It came from me helping someone get their money unstuck from the blockchain, and got to talking about how to scale that with tech.
There we go. And now we're here. So making it a simple way, the safest way possible, a dependable way to really operate on the blockchain, to operate a wallet, to take funds out of a wallet. I think that is. That's definitely the direction we're going. It sounds like you guys have been solving for this, and it's interesting, right? It's a use case. It's a in real life use case that you actually did to help somebody to say, wow, okay, we might have something here, because if there's one person, running into this problem, I'm sure there's others. Now, even with that, there are a lot of people here just building different projects. Some people are even working a day job, but building on the side. I'm curious, like you said, even about the marketing. When you go to Giddy's website, it's sleek. You have the story of the brand, down pat, and it's like a smooth, very direct, transparent story. But I'm curious if you can share just about the initial challenges you faced while launching Giddy. Kind of what hurdles and obstacles you had to get over to get to where you are now.
Yeah. There were a lot of them. We've joked about building 7 different startups inside this startup, trying to get it off the ground. Early 2021, there just were not as many infrastructure projects for things like getting the price of an asset. It might sound really straightforward, really easy, but it hasn't always been that way. And especially when you talk about DeFi assets, when there's pools of tokens that are paired together, and some of them, they're not like 50-50 split, right? You can have this like dynamic flow between the concentration of a liquidity pool. There was one of our core concepts really early on was we wanted to get rid of the seed phrase. We were thinking, if people are going to get into crypto who are not currently in crypto, they're going to see the challenges of the tool set, and a lot of which it comes down to this idea of a seed phrase, and it's not friendly. The user experience is not good. The risk of losing your seed phrase, losing your money, is high. So we basically from day one started building out a system for a fully self-custody wallet. So we don't have a clue what your seed phrase is, your private key. As the writers of the software, we needed to make sure that it was completely in control of the end user. So it's fully self-custody, but the users, you don't have to write down a seed phrase. So we did that by breaking up that private key into multiple different parts, and then representing those parts with kind of like multi-factor auth. So email, your phone biometric, a password. You can do like SMS or a Google Authenticator. Those different bits and pieces make up your private key, and it gets really complicated. It gets technical very, very quickly. But the end result is that if you download the app, you make a Giddy wallet. You don't have to write down your seed phrase. You can if you want to. It's still there. It works the same way. But for people who don't want to deal with it or just don't have the technical capacity to really think about it, we made it an option to not write down your seed phrase. So we decided early on that was going to be an important goal. It took a long time to build out that tech, and it was a big part of our build out. And then like I said, stuff like getting the prices for your assets, like listening to updates on the blockchain. That was another big thing. So keeping your wallet in sync. We also decided early on that we wanted to have graphs of your portfolio performance. So keeping a historical record of what all of your assets are doing, including your DeFi assets. That was a huge, massive build out that we had to do. We had to put together a bunch of different resources to make that happen. So, and I'm probably skipping over a couple things, but yeah, in the early days of this project, we really had to build out a bunch of our own systems and tool sets to make the end goal of the product come to life.
Yeah. And that's great to hear. It's always good just to hear the kind of the soup to nuts story of like what you had to go through, the hurdles you guys had to overcome, and then to where it is now, and really everything in between. Like you said, I can imagine putting that tech out, and even like I said, also just deciding what problems that you're gonna solve for and what to prioritize, because it can be a lot. Like as you mentioned, it's like 7 startups in one. Just trying to whether it's put out certain fires or build a certain kind of innovative feature to the product that you're already building. So I think there's like a quarter amount of, even with Giddy, for example, on the problem you guys are solving. I think there's like a quarter amount of Ethereum that has ever been mined or owned in a self-custody wallet has been lost, or people can't get to it, right? So once again, this is a problem that people have faced over time, the last 10 plus years.
Yeah, losing a seed phrase is a massive problem. Last time we looked at it, I think it was pretty close to half of Bitcoin and Ethereum had been lost to, which is obviously they got mined and distributed really heavily up front, and later on there's less new supply coming out, but there's a massive amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum that's just lost. Another thing we did, by the way, sometimes we talk about Giddy doing account abstraction before it was cool, but we wanted people to interact with the blockchain in a way that the underlying tech was basically invisible. So we developed a way to do a couple things. Pay for gas in multiple different tokens. So like you don't necessarily have to have Matic on the Polygon network if you're going to do a transaction. We also wanted to combine many transactions into one signature from the user. So in the Giddy app, you can go from, for example, USDC into a curve pool that's got 5 other assets, and you, the end user, you just have to tap one button. You do one signature, and then we can take care of the gas payment for you. We do all the swaps, the LP creation, the staking for you. You can track the performance of that asset in your app, and then getting your money back out is just as easy. It's just a single transaction. So I was actually just the other day, I was messing around with some DeFi project, and man, I forget just how difficult it is, how many steps it takes to get. So there was something on like the base network I wanted to get to. I had to bridge over an asset. I had to swap it into multiple other assets. I had to stake it, and then I had to like write down in a spreadsheet what the hell's going on. Sorry, what the heck's going on? Because like it's outrageously difficult to pull this off yourself. I'm motivated to do it because I mean I like doing it. Also, this new project seemed cool, but we literally what took me. I'm a very seasoned DeFi user. I spent 20 minutes trying to get into this specific pool, where in the Giddy app, it's under a second. You find what you want, you put in the dollar amount, you swipe it, and then you're done.
Yeah, I think for like you said, you're a seasoned DeFi user, and that's taking you a little, 15, 20 minutes. But someone that is not high technical, not into DeFi, there's something, they heard about crypto through a coworker, friend, relative. They go, let me check it out. Once they get on step 2 or 3 and it's taken 30, 40 minutes, now like, okay, they give up. So the faster that this comes, and the more easy and efficient that it can be for the whole user experience, the better. And that's what you guys are doing at Giddy. I like it. Now, my next question for you is, how does Giddy use Coinbase Onramp or our staking API, to make DeFi accessible, to the, and easy to the everyday person, the average person?
Yeah, we were really, really early in the Coinbase Pay, like developer adoption, because we had tried basically every other platform that you've heard of. It's a really, really popular business to do on-ramping service, crypto on-ramping as a service. There's a lot of money to be made in selling people crypto in exchange for fiat. So it's one of the earlier things that people were trying to tackle. We always knew, it's extremely important for us as a company and for Giddy users to fund their wallet. The good news is you only need USDC, and then you can basically do everything in the app. But getting any money into your wallet at all, it's not that easy of a thing. So we started partnering with some early on companies that don't even exist anymore. Like, we were 3 months into this build out. We were doing this white label where we're using their APIs, we're getting everything working, and during the testing, like we're maybe a week away from going live, we realized that money was getting lost in these transactions. We would send money from a bank, try to acquire crypto with it, and it would just go nowhere. And they unfortunately didn't have a way of tracking where this money went. Like, we had to reach out to them, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't know. This error message doesn't mean much to me, so I guess we'll just wait and see what happens." And we're like, "Man, we cannot do this." Like, every single time that,
right.
And it's one thing if your transaction just fails and you have to keep trying. People don't have a lot of patience for that. You actually lose money though in a transaction. That's the kiss of death. Like, we couldn't afford it. So long time spent building out with those guys. It just didn't pan out. And then we tried pretty much every other cloud on-ramping service you've heard of. And we didn't have as many serious problems, but lots of failed transactions. Lots of times people don't know what the brand is. That they're hesitant to do KYC with a company they'd never heard of. So we were really, really, really glad to find Coinbase and Coinbase Pay, because the brand is totally trusted, recognizable, and it actually works. Our failure rates are lower on Coinbase Pay than anybody else. By far, the most volume comes through Coinbase Pay relative to our other on-ramps. And it was just really easy to integrate. It flowed really well with our user flows. The assets and the chains were supported that we needed, and it's only gotten better since then. So Coinbase Pay was the first thing that we integrated in the Coinbase Cloud suite. Extremely, extremely important for us to be able to get our wallets funded, and it's been a reliable way for us to do that. So it's been really, really good. We're really glad to have that in the app.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Sounds like Okay, Coinbase Pay is easy to access, reliable, trusted. It's working. These are all great things. Now, Eric, I'm curious if there's something that on the Coinbase Pay side, if you say, okay, if this was added, that'd be super helpful, or and if this was a feature that we had maybe next year or for this bull market, like that would be great. Like what would that be? I'm curious.
Yeah, I think for the most part, end users are looking to get they're looking to get their money quickly and with the least amount of fees possible. So things like instant ACH transfer, it's a big deal. ACH tends to be cheaper. You don't have the credit card fees on top. It can just be slow sometimes. So if you're able to get instant ACH working as an end user in crypto, it's really really helpful. Things have improved a lot as far as assets and chains that are available. Really early on, I think if I remember right, we didn't have all the chains that we needed or something. I'm probably not remembering correctly, but that's come a long way in the last like year or so. So definitely doing good on that. And then something that we've kind of been exploring is kind of like a programmable fiat on ramp. So and all that really means is once the crypto hits your account, we want to be able to execute a smart contract. So let's say that you want to stake into Aave USDC, go earn yourself like 8%. It would be amazing if I was able to have money come from my bank account and immediately get staked in that protocol. So it takes out a few more steps, takes out some waiting, and then on top of that, you can build like recurring passive income investment. So if I just wanted to put whatever 1 or 2% of my paycheck into this 8% on-chain DeFi thing, being able to set up a recurring DeFi transaction is kind of some next level stuff. I know that some on-rampers have experimented with it. We haven't really gone super deep into that, but you can do some pretty awesome things if you're able to get from kind of the old school TradFi banking rails onto DeFi rails in one go. So yeah, I think people are going to be looking for a wide range of assets. That they always want to buy the newest, weirdest thing.
Right.
Meme tokens are still driving a huge amount of volume. So if it's cheap, if it's fast, if there's a lot of options, and then if it's smart, programmable, I think that's kind of how you win.
Yeah, I completely agree. And definitely on the instant ACH transfers, it's always good. Like once again, we do this. We have an office hours. We have our product managers for our advanced trading API product, for staking, for OnRamp. We do events with them. So even when we get the opportunity to hear live from developers, people using the product of what can we add, like what can I share with with the product managers, the engineering managers to take back to the team to say, look, the people have spoken, community has spoken, and this is what we've seen as a need and what is going to help them build even more. Because the more you build using our products, it's going to help everybody.
Yeah.
Also like the plug there of the Aave liquidity pools. I mean that's been big. One thing I also want to say, this is not financial advice at all. This is just we're having a conversation. Just want to put that disclaimer there.
No question. Yeah, if you've used blockchain before, you know how easy it is to lose money. So this is not advice about what you should do.
100%, 100%. Okay, we got about maybe 10, 15 more minutes here, but I'm curious, just the way everything is now. I know that you had started the company a few years ago. It's one thing to gain a lot of traction in a bull market, right? I mean, I being here in Miami, being at Bitcoin Miami 2022, kind of early, kind of before the the last kind of crash there. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, just to see like the rave about just Web3, blockchain, crypto market. But I'm curious, what's the strategies you have on the other side of things and how to continue to attract users? I know here at Coinbase, we continuously try to keep on building no matter bull market, bear market. Like, is that a tactic you guys take? Does your strategy change? I'm curious on that, just on that front of how your approach is to that.
Yeah, we've been building throughout. So There's actually kind of a funny story. One of the first trade shows we went to, it was permissionless in
West Palm.
was that Texas? It was either
Um,
Florida or Texas. No, it was Florida.
yeah.
We rented a DeLorean, like the time machine from Back to the
Yeah.
Future.
Back to the Future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
So
someone on their
right
team dress up as Doc Brown or Martin McFly or anything? Or
now we just had the car. It was all kitted out. It probably would have been a good idea, but the car did enough work for us. It was a good one. But right across from us, so we were at the end of the big walkway. Over one spot and right across was the Terra Luna booth, and it had only been like 6 days previous that Terra Luna crashed.
Wow.
Was it Do Kwon? Was that the guy, the Terra Luna guy?
Yeah, Do Kwon.
I forget whoever it was. He was supposed to speak at that conference, and it just completely came down. So right as we're launching our app, we had this this DeFi market that exploded to about 180 billion in market cap, and right as we're launching, it just crashes down to like 40 or 50 billion in market cap. Just an insane, total deflation of everything. So we only had a couple staking things on the Polygon network on day one, but since then, and even through kind of some really tough markets, we've added a lot more assets. We've added more staking pools. We've added Bitcoin mainnet, Ethereum mainnet, Arbitrum, Solana is probably coming next. So one answer to your question is, yeah, keep building. Keep in touch with what's interesting, what's going on. But there are, I don't know, a dozen other projects, wallet projects that started around the same time as us that aren't around anymore. And we've been lucky to have good investors that have kind of kept us going. But continuing to build through is about all you can do. You got to get really focused, really intentional on where the value is for your customers. What exactly are people wanting to do in the industry, with their wallet, with their funds. But it's the only constant thing in crypto is change, and even more so chaos. Crypto is nothing if not totally insane. So it's also been an opportunity for us to really get disciplined and focused on just a couple different business operation. The way that we do marketing, the way that we do user acquisition, we've gotten a lot more efficient on those ads, how you spend the money. We've gotten a lot better at our data analytics and numbers. So it's certainly a challenge to keep focused and keep going, but we've been building through, and we've been getting better as a business, as a product. So yeah, there's not really a secret. It's a grind. There's no question that it's nothing. It's not easy to keep it up, but it's also not that complicated. You just keep building. You keep finding value. Keep working towards it, and we're really lucky at Giddy to have a good team. Great engineers, great product folks. So yeah, like I said, no real big secret to it. It's a grind, but you got to keep building.
Yeah, I like that. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep being innovative and keeping your best foot forward. I like that. My question for you: how many people are at Giddy now? How many people do you guys have now?
There's about a dozen of us.
Nice. Okay. Nice. Let's see, about 10 more minutes here. But I'm curious, what excites you the most about smart contracts, different blockchains, the ability to do decentralized finance? Sounds like that's like the overall umbrella of Giddy. Of course, it's with the functionality of it, but just even on a personal level, just what excites you the most about the space?
Yeah, that's so in like 2020-ish is when I first really started doing a deep dive into DeFi. My background is computer science. I've been building apps my whole career. So the idea that you can write code and you can put it on the blockchain and it's immediately distributed to the world and it's immutable and it's super powerful. It was just super exciting for me. Programmable money that is available to everybody that has the internet and can operate a wallet. There's so many possibilities I really love the idea that you can kind of democratize, concentration of power and wealth. Anybody who has access to the blockchain can do anything that it has to offer. Whereas in the real world, you have to be pretty sophisticated, if not pretty wealthy, to even play. Like there's this thing, this classification of a person called an accredited investor. And basically, you have enough money, you have around $1 million of net worth and around 200,000 of income per year, and you've been doing that consistently for at least a year. Basically, there's this qualification that stops people from getting access to certain investment vehicles in real life. If you're not rich enough, you literally can't play. Whereas on the blockchain, with programmable money, with DeFi, with the way that smart contracts are designed to work, anybody who has access to the blockchain can play. You can do the most sophisticated stuff. You can do the simplest stuff. You can do things on the blockchain with $5 that in the real world requires like a nation state's worth of wealth. Facilitating transfers across different countries in real time and in a moment, and facilitating providing liquidity to these swaps. Those same things exist in the real world, but man, they're not accessible to almost everybody. So not only is the technology really exciting, it's really interesting, but the implications to me is really what got me excited and passionate about the whole thing to begin with. Is this notion that you can give power, control back to people and their own finances, and it's all powered by the blockchain. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about it, but it's a democratization. It's an evolution of the global economy, and it's being driven by just regular people. Us. You can get on the blockchain today. You can write some code, put it on there, and everyone has it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of Coinbase's memos is building economic freedom and just ensuring that people can even participate fairly in the economy. So, like you said, it's a democratized space, and someone can create a wallet tomorrow and start that journey. So, you guys are also a huge part of that and helping building that as well.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, 100%. So also here at CDP, we're focused on building community and setting up events and sharing information and knowledge with with the people that are building, using our products. Like I said, whether it's product managers, engineering managers, or having our technical account managing team answer any questions that people are running into, any issues. We try to be just as accessible as possible. Is there a way that Giddy engages or supports your guys' users or builds community? Is that something that you guys do on your end, or have you guys looked into that?
Yeah, your typical ways. Twitter, Discord. There's a help chat channel in the app. You can reach out to our support. Yeah, really early on, we did kind of all your typical touch points with building community and channels to communicate and discuss. So I think and it's not just crypto, but almost any business that is consumer or retail facing going forward. You're going to be able to build brand brand and community and trust is basically synonymous.
Right.
If you can't actively engage with the company, with the brand, you're going to fall behind, because the tools to get involved are there. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of channels to communicate and to engage with that community. So anyway, yeah, it's been a big part of the way that we've built, for sure, and stuff like this as well, where you can kind of grow community together is always a good way to do it. So I'm always happy to hop on with development partners and kind of share community growth together.
Yes, couldn't agree more. I mean, even just people have been able to trickle in, trickle out into listening to this, and like I said, we're going to share it on the YouTube channel. We're going to share it in the Discord. People can refer back to it. So, once again, just really good to see success stories and highlight people that are using the products and also have a similar vision and goal of the space, and we just keep pushing that forward.
Yeah, love it.
So there's about four more minutes here. I'm doing like a fast four. So just like kind of quick responses, and yeah, we'd love to just hear your take on a couple of these. And so I read earlier that you guys had a tagline for Giddy. You know, the tagline was "Crypto for Grandmas." You know, crypto for grandma. So kind of where and why did that come from? Did you come up with that slogan there, or what was that?
Literally someone's grandma, the oldest person we've ever had use the Giddy app. She was either 82 or 83. She was staked into a pretty complex curve DeFi pool at the age of 83. So being able to do that through our app, through our platform was awesome. But it was literally someone's grandma that was staking DeFi with Giddy. So man, if grandma can figure out this crazy technical thing with our app, there's something there.
There you go. What's the craziest story you've ever heard when it comes to losing a seed phrase?
Oh man, I'm sure there's I think there's someone with money in Mount Gox, and there's a pretty famous one, but he has this computer where he's only got one more chance to enter his seed phrase before it completely locks and wipes his hard drive. He set himself up with this. Huge amount of money there. I mean, the way that Giddy got started there, it was a significant amount of money that was stuck in a DeFi protocol. Man, I have money in a landfill somewhere on a computer. The earliest days of mining Bitcoin for me, I was just messing around. I was just building computers, having fun. I didn't realize it was going to be like this, what it is today. So,
Right.
Man, so much money has been lost to seed phrases. So, I don't know what the worst one is. Probably like tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars by now.
Yeah, it's been a ton. You hear those stories every now and again. Someone's last time to try to get into a wallet, or they can't they can see the balance on their phone on the mobile app, but they can't access a wallet. So don't let that be you, folks. Use Giddy. Next question. What has been the most rewarding part of your journey with Giddy so far? What has been the most rewarding?
Personal rewarding, probably building with a team. Like we've been in the trenches together, worked really, really hard over the last 3 years. So building with other talented people towards a common goal is always a very rewarding thing. I mean, it's also always great to see people, access the blockchain, use the product and find success with it. Seeing that play out is super rewarding too. So we've had a really specific mission since the beginning that we've all worked hard together on. So it's always fun to see that come together.
Absolutely. And the last question I have here, there are a lot of wallets out there. A lot of people have used different wallets. How does Giddy differentiate itself from other crypto wallets and DeFi platforms?
Yeah, wallet space is massive. So started out with a no seed phrase thing. Really wanted to get into account abstraction with multiple ways to pay for gas and these batch transactions where it's really easy to stake. We've branched out to being multi-chain. We've added bridging recently. Still chains. Solana's coming next. The ability to get into complex DeFi pools really easily, I think, is what sets us apart. So, the ability to have a self-custody wallet with no seed phrase and have just kind of easy access to the blockchain at your fingertips. That's what we're going for. So it's slightly different from obviously like custodial solutions. We want people to own their seed phrase, own their crypto, and then just fast, easy access directly to the blockchain. That's what we're focused on doing.
I like it. You guys are on your way. Definitely keep up the good work. And that brings us to the end of our discussion. Thanks, Eric. It's been a pleasure having you. Glad we could make this happen. Like I said, we've been working with you guys for seems like at least a couple of years now, at least on the Coinbase Onramp side of things, so Coinbase Pay. So glad we can make it happen. And a great managed customer for us. I want to continue supporting you guys, and glad we could collaborate. I know you guys have a huge following on the Twitter side as well, so just keep on supporting your users and building. You guys have an awesome success story.